Hey guys, Mike with Fab'n, and this is a long-time project of mine. This is my 1971 one-ton four-wheel drive Chevrolet Suburban. This was a rural ambulance up in northeast Oklahoma all of its life until I owned it. Um, it has the raised roof in it and still has the ambulance bed rails in the back of it. They used it, it was a rural hospital, so they used it to transport patients and stuff. It only has 40 something thousand original miles on it, but it's lived a hard off-road life. They crashed it at one point, put a new fender and a cowl on it and stuff like that. But so when I got it, uh, it had a non-numbers matching 350 in it, not the original motor, and it was tired. It smoked and leaked, and it had a turbo 350, which was probably the original tranny. Probably would have had a turbo 400, but who knows. Had a 203 full-time transfer case. Had a Dana 44 front axle with the old ball type hubs instead of the U-joint hubs. Had a HO72 rear axle, which would have been correct, and so anyway, but it wasn't very reliable. Come to find out, uh, even though the 203 is full-time four-wheel drive, it was only front-wheel drive because there's something inside the 203 was that transfer case was broke and it wasn't engaging the rear wheels. So I always intended on this car. This truck has very little rust for an early model. It's just right here below the doors, and it's just pinhole. So I've always figured I would just fix that, repair it. The floors are solid in the truck, which is rare in these trucks. But the ambulance top is just horrid. It's fiberglass and it's coming apart, and anyway, the ambulance top is in bad shape. So you can, and when you're on the top of it, you can see where the lights used to go and stuff like that. But anyway, so I always kind of had the intention, since it wasn't a numbers matching truck, that I could actually do what I wanted with it, which was perfect for me. I'm an LS guy, so I've been collecting parts. It now has a 14-bolt rear axle with disc brakes and a locker, and it now has a Dana 60 front axle with a lunchbox locker that I'm currently installing in it right now. It's out of a dually, so I've got to swap the front hubs to single rear wheel hubs, so all kinds of concoctions going on. I got this other 1-ton dually chassis, which is where the front axle came from, and it has a rebuilt turbo 400 and 205 transfer case from Blumenthal's. The stickers are on the other side, and I got the paperwork to it whenever I bought this chassis, rolling chassis, warranty paperwork. There's only like 1,200 miles on the transmission and transfer case since they did it, and they did U-joints. So I'm getting front and rear drive shafts, transmission, transfer case, all that stuff. It's going to go in the Suburban, and then I'm just going to stick a bone stock LS53 in it with fuel injection and just, 300 horse. I might put a cam and heads on it, but I don't know. I'm probably just going to leave it alone. And so I'm going to put it back together as right now it's project stick. I haven't touched this truck in 7 years, okay? So I've had it for 10, I believe, or 12, something like that. And I drove it for a year or so with the mishapped 350 and turbo 350 and the front wheel drive stuff, and I've been collecting. I've got a 4-core aluminum radiator. Yes, this is a 3-door truck. It's not a, these were all 3 doors. It's got a 94. There's parts everywhere in it. It's got a 94 set of seats in it with a center console, and has aftermarket AC in it, and I mean, it's not pristine by any means, but to me, yeah, they're up there is where the old lights used to be. You can see the holes in the roof. But to me, it's a neat old truck, and I was born in '71, so that kind of makes it mine altogether. So But yeah, my goal is, this is December 28th or 9th, 2022, and within 30, no, it's not another 30-day build, don't get into that. But my goal is to have it running and driving in the next 30 days. So by the end of January, early February. And I'm not going to restore the truck per yet. For now, it's just going to get running gear put in it and make it reliable so I can daily drive it and use it as my, I don't know, third or fourth work truck, however many I have. And and then I'm going to, so anyway, I'm putting a 5.3 Turbo 400, 205 transfer case. It's got a Dana 60 front axle, a 14 bolt rear axle, 4-wheel disc brakes. I'm putting Hydro Boost on it instead of the vacuum brake booster. But they crashed it before I got it, and this is a pickup truck fender and cowl, and I like this paint scheme, the original factory blue, white, and blue. Okay, it's blue on top, white in the middle, and blue on the bottom, and then the pickup truck aluminum. So that's what we're going to do to the truck. We're going to do the blue, white, blue, and I'm going to get a full set of the trim to go down the truck, and that's what we're going to do with it eventually. So for now, it's just to get it running and going and driving. I'm going to just, again, put a stock, my belief is a stock 5.3. I have one sitting over there. It was a good running engine. Put an oil pump in it and a timing chain and put some bearings in it and just going down the road. But again, not going to restore the truck right now. Just make it go. So this is, I've had two Dana 60s under this truck. This is a single rear wheel Dana 60, but it's been cut on and welded on, and it was on a rock crawler, so it's not in the best shape. But the kingpins, the camber is out on them. I can fix it, but I think it was welded that way. But anyway, so that's why I've gone to the other Dana 60, the dual rear wheel Dana 60, and I'm going to take the single rear wheel hubs off and put them on the dual rear wheel axle. Then it makes it a single rear wheel axle again. I'm going to take the 4-inch steering block, riser block off. I'm going to take the aluminum cover that has a drain plug in it and also allows me one more quart of fluid. And then I've got a high-rise arm on the truck, and I've got new ball joints and tie rods. I mean, not ball joints, but I got new tie rods, and then I've got new U-joints for that axle and seals. So I'm actually going to, when I take the hubs off, I'm going to rebuild from the U-joints out on both sides. So yeah, almost a rebuilt axle. I'm just not tearing into the pumpkin, not putting bearings in the pumpkin unless I have to. So yeah, that's the plans so far. I just want to make it very mechanically reliable, and then I'll work on the rust, and then I'll work on the body, and then the interior, kind of in that order. And the goal is over the next couple of years, make it into a really nice truck. But for now, this month, it's just to make it into a reliable truck. So that's where we're working on it. All right, with the help of my beautiful assistant, we got the dual rear wheel Dana 60 axle installed now, bolted in. See, I've got to hook up the shocks and the brake lines and the steering knuckle. But other than that, we're in and bolted up. This one had some old cheap lockout hubs on it. This one actually has some warns on it. But when I rebuild this axle's outers, I'm going to put, these are some 30 spline warns here, the stock ones. I'm going to put 35 spline shaft warns, and I have those lockouts, the 35 spline lockouts in the back of the truck new. So yeah, lots of upgrades to come, and we will be making videos of it as we go. So anyway, the axle's in it. Now I got to start buttoning up the shocks and the brake hoses and the steering knuckle so it'll actually turn with the steering wheel. So there we go. Anyway, this is the current project that I'm working on for this month, this coming month of January. So, hey guys, I appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.